say the least. So, you know, the 2300 Arena has a lot of history, as you know, but it's all about creating moments, and I'm more inspired by that than the past. So, but yeah, it's cool to be back.
Richard, talk about creating the moment though. What's it like being in this particular moment right now? Are you able to enjoy it, or are you going to savor it when it's all over?
Well, you know what? I do have time to smell the roses, but I like to keep things moving as quickly as I possibly can. You know, life is so fluid. Here with the media, obviously I embrace the media, unlike a lot of other people. But any publicity is good publicity in my eyes. I like the cameras being on me. I do very well at things like this. So I'm kind of smelling the roses simultaneously as keeping things moving at the same time as I answer your question.
Oh, listen, like you said, this place has a lot of history. Do you plan on channeling that history into getting the victory in tonight?
Not particularly. I don't really care what happened here in the past. I'm more focused on what I'm going to do tonight. I'm in a huge 12-man matchup. Only one person is going to end up being victorious again. This type of prize from Susie Durant, and in all likelihood, it's going to be me. Whoever's next.
Richard, how you doing? Is it safe to say, because MLW was vocal about making sure that you and Hammerstone were here for the duration, it's safe to say that you and Ham are like the franchise guys of MLW right now?
That's like the safest thing to say, I think. Like if you needed like a safe word, it was like who were the franchise players of MLW? It was like Hammerstone and Holliday and Hammerstone, whatever rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, but yeah, totally safe.
What's your thoughts about Contra attacking you, going on back, like, and with Alexander Hammerstone, you know, obviously in the title with two. What's your mindset going in there, and how to get an attack? We've seen from you before, and you seem to lay it in a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Contra is the type where you have to watch your back, and they're always kind of like lurking around. You got to watch your corners. Listen, I'm in a custom suit right now. If they were to ever attack me in a custom suit, I'd be very upset. Like you said, I can get very intense, so, you know, give them a little bit of a word. Don't do it longer than that. But again, you have to watch your back, and, you know, they're always lurking, and you can't always keep your mind on Contra, but they have to be in the back of your mind for sure.
As a quick follow-up, push the shoot out of the way. Were you helping her out? What's your guys' relationship?
I don't know if I was really helping her out. I was more so like maybe trying to get out of the way myself, and she was there, and I was like, hey, Alicia, move, like, you know, so, you know, I'm glad she's okay, but I mean, I got busted over pretty bad because of that. She didn't even send me a thank you card, so.
Rich, pro wrestling is in a huge boom right now. The success of Major League Wrestling, you're a huge part of it right now. So what do you think is the next step for yourself in your career, but also for MLW as well?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I do believe that I'm a major catalyst in moving this ship forward and taking MLW to the next level. I think we have so many great things on the horizon, and you know, our big deal with Vice TV, like that's so big for us and big for the brand. And I think the consumers are just going to be more and more excited as the months and the years go on, what we have to offer. And of course, like I said before with the earlier question, with Hammerstone and myself kind of leading the charge and leading the way, MLW is in a really good position within the marketplace of professional wrestling.
How are you embracing being a leader?
Well, I just think I'm a natural born leader. You know, from my football background in college, I've always led people. People have always come to me for inspiration, and you know, I think it's just a way that I present myself and I carry myself, and you know, that's part of being the stewardess for the company, as you said, and just taking it to the next level and keeping this thing moving.
Listen, you're setting the tone for tonight's card. You know, going into the main event, you know, you said you and Hammerstone are leading the charge, and eventually there can only be one alpha dog. Do you see you and Hammerstone eventually crossing guys?
You see, I disagree. I think that there could be multiple alphas within a company, and especially an ever-growing and large brand like MLW, I think that there is room for a couple of different alphas. And you know, Hammerstone and myself, we are one and the same. We're dynastic. We're best friends. I'm rooting for him tonight, 100%. I will be watching that match, obviously, very closely. And he's going to walk out of here as a world heavyweight champion. And it's going to be a very dynastic night. We're definitely going to celebrate.
Now, you just launched your own coffee brand. What's that been like, and what made you want to do that?
Finally, somebody in the media asked me about my coffee brand. It's just obviously the thing I wanted to talk about the most. If there's one thing in life, I take multiple things in life very seriously, but obviously coffee is at the top, tippity top of the list. And I won't put my name on any type of coffee that isn't good. And yes, I know I'm drinking Starbucks right now, but I've had my cup of dynastic coffee, of rarefied coffee, in the morning. Trust me, it's such a lovely blend. It's really a coffee drinker's coffee. If you're into coffee, it's not like a full juice K-cup type of person. If that's what you're into, you might not like my coffee. But for me, it has notes of brownie and notes of citrus. It's really quite lovely, and it's a coffee drinker's coffee. The sales are doing great. It's being marketed extremely well. So glad you asked. Great question. It's a medium-bodied roast. It's a Guatemalan descent. It's really good. Like I said, a really coffee drinker's coffee.
One final question from me. Like you said, like it was a coffee brand. How big do you think branding yourself as a pro wrestler is compared, with going with MLW?
I think it's the most important thing. I really have a degree in marketing, and I've been able to use that within the landscape of professional wrestling. And the whole most marketable kind of moniker or aura about myself, like I think that's very real, and I believe in that. And that's what's helped me within this industry the most, is understanding marketing and what it is at its grassroots and how important it is to make a brand, a professional wrestler is a brand, and taking that to the next level.
If you could introduce obviously a lot of new fans might be tuning in to Fightland. You could introduce a lot of new fans. How would you describe and kind of promote in a lot of ways what MLW is about and how to define yourself as like stand out?
Well, I think the important thing is to convert fans into consumers, right? And there's a conversion process there. And a fan is somebody who is just like, oh, I'm familiar with pro wrestling. I've seen it. It's cool. But making them a consumer, that's the important thing. To make them come back and spend money, their hard-earned money, on a ticket to see MLW, to buy merchandise, to buy my rarefied coffee. Now they're a consumer. They're putting money into the marketplace. And that's the most important thing. So I think one night at the 2300 Arena with MLW in town will, like that, any fan is a consumer. He's dominated the questions, by the way.
Tonight's got a big time feel, big fight feel. Do you feel that what you see in the locker room tonight?
Yeah, there definitely is like a certain buzz within the locker room tonight. I think obviously the Opera Cup, now I've been in the Opera Cup for two consecutive years prior to this. That in and of itself is something that can just drive consumers into the arena to see. Take that, and now you have Fatu in Hammerstone, which is the biggest match in MLW history. And that's taking place tonight. So yeah, there is like a certain buzz. It's like that caffeination that you get, right? When you have a good cup of rarefied coffee, you just get that buzz. That's kind of what's happening with the entire locker room. I think everybody's going to push their limits tonight to try and stand out on tonight's card. But tonight is certainly a night that you're going to want to remember. Like a "where were you when this happened" type of night.
Aside from the cost, is any other products on the line looking to build the Holliday brand out?
I have some things in the works. I do believe, as a marketing expert, my theory is to take one product and push that to the moon and get as much mileage as you could out of one thing. So right now, I'm really behind my coffee brand. Not that I'm expecting sales to tail off, but I am expecting, something to come in a little bit fresher and do something a little bit different. So there are things in the works that I have, of course, but right now my focus is on the rarefied coffee.
There's a lot of newer talent coming in MLW. Who haven't you mixed it up with that year? It's kind of interesting and hanging up with the three.
Yeah, so I've been with MLW for the better part of 3 years now, and I've seen a lot of people come in, a lot of people go. Tonight's card in specific, you're seeing a lot of some of the greatest wrestlers in the world today. The Alex Shelleys, the Tajiris, the Bobby Fishes come in and enhance the MLW experience, right? So I think individuals like that, people always ask me who's like your dream opponent, what you want to do. I don't really have dream opponents. I don't really believe in that. I'm more of a dream scenario type of person. And I have scenarios in my head that we don't need to get into right now, but that's more of the way that I think. That's my ideologies in wrestling. But there's so much great talent that we're constantly bringing in, and it's endless. Thank you guys.
Great.